Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Geiger, up here today with part 7, I think 7 or 6, of the PlayStation 2 collection, of course. Still got a couple more shelves to go through, maybe 2 or 3 more shelves to go through. Of course, the collection is ever growing. I'm going to be actually moving these PlayStation 2 games up into this bedroom soon, so hopefully tomorrow. So that means I'll have the games in the bedroom with me, and it'll be a lot easier to access the games. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. First up, we have Resident Evil 4 Limited Edition. Of course, it comes with a bonus. It comes with a disc, and it even comes with a mini strategy guide as well, which is pretty cool actually. Of course, this limited edition is not a. Of course, PlayStation 2 limited editions are pretty hard to come by. There weren't that many really cool limited editions on PlayStation 2, but Resident Evil 4 was absolutely a fantastic game. It's probably one of the best Resident Evil games of all time. Of course, originally on the GameCube, but then it transitioned to the PlayStation 4. Now it's on everything, of course, but still a classic. Then we have Raging Blade. So I thought this was like a RPG, but at the end it's like a Power Stone game. You know, like an arena battle game. Kind of an interesting one, but nothing special. We have Samurai Jack, Shadow of a Coup. Never actually watched Samurai Jack growing up. I seen an episode or two when I was a kid, but I never actually sat there and watched the show. Of course, originally on Cartoon Network, and then it came out to Adult Swim, picked it up and continued it on. A very mature cartoon for Cartoon Network back in the day. A very, you know, of course, pretty good show, of course. A lot of people think Samurai Jack is the professor from Powerpuff Girls, and there's a lot of like videos on YouTube about it. Look it up, it's kind of an interesting theory. Then we have R-Type Final. I believe this was meant to be like the last R-Type game. It's got a bunch of different like ships and things you can play as. Of course, R-Type is a classic in its own right, and of course, it was only of course the PlayStation 2 had the last game. I think it was the last game of the series, but there might be more now. I don't know. Then we have Scarface, The World of Yours is Yours. This game's basically like a GTA clone, actually, but it's a really good one, actually. It sort of takes this reimagining of the movie. Instead of Scarface dying, basically, you have to regain the city, and it's a really fun game. It reminds me a bit of like the Godfather game, but a little bit better. It's some pretty cool because you get to play as obviously Tony Montana, but you get some parts in the game where you can play as like his henchmen and stuff, and each character has their own sort of like things they can and can't do. It's kind of an interesting concept. Really good game actually. And we have Samurai Warriors 2, but it has Samurai Warriors 2 Empires in there. I don't know why they did that, but still, of course, I love the Samurai Warriors series. Probably prefer Dynasty Warriors, but Samurai Warriors is another Warriors game nonetheless. Then we have Shell Shock Nam 67. I don't know if this is better than the other Shell Shock game. It's a Vietnam game. I think this one's more of a third-person shooter. I think this one's better than the terrible sequel that came out on the PlayStation, the Xbox 360. Shin Megami Tensei's Lucifer's Call, and they believe in this game you can get Dante from Devil May Cry as well, which is really cool. It's a like a JRPG kind of game. There's a bunch of Shin Megami Tensei games out there, and this is just the one that I happen to own. I think it's the only one that I own. Then we have Secret Service. I do have this on Xbox 360 as well. It's a like a almost like a Call of Duty based around, of course, Secret Service. Spider-Man Friend or Foe. I'm a bit pissed off because this game actually don't work. I've tried it a couple of times and it don't work. It's like a beat-em-up game with Spider-Man characters and stuff like that. It seems like a pretty good game, but unfortunately it just doesn't work for me. Then we have the original Samurai Warriors. It all started on the PlayStation 2. Never actually played the original actually, so kind of looks interesting. Got some interesting modes on there actually. Rayman 3, Hoodlum Havoc. Never played any other Rayman game apart from the original. This is the 3D version. Actually, Keller, I have played some other Rayman games, but the original trilogy, I only played the first game. And Rayman sort of went off on a weird tangent for a while, and then they brought it back to the original style. Rayman Raven Rabbids. This was before it went off into the Wii. Of course, lots of mini games and crazy stuff on this game. Some people really like the original Rayman Raven Rabbids. I don't think I've ever played it. Red Card, same game, different rules. This is a football game, but it's all based around basically like you can tackle people and stuff. You get points basically for playing dirty, kind of thing. Kind of a interesting take on a realistic football game almost. Rally Fusion, Race of Champions. This is a sequel or a remake of the PlayStation 1 game. It is a good rally game, but it's very challenging. It's basically like a 1v1 situation, but it's a really challenging game. Rally Championships. There are so many rally games on PlayStation 2. It's unbelievable, but of course I have to have them all. Pro Evolution Soccer 5. Konami's answer to FIFA. And which one's better, I don't know. I don't sit here and play both of them to really say. Scalar by Global Star Entertainment. I think it's Global Star Software. Kind of looks like a Spyro wannabe. Then we have Play It Pinball. Just a pinball game. I love pinball. Nothing wrong with pinball. Tony Hawk Pro Skaters 3. I've never actually played this Tony Hawk game, but of course Tony Hawk is absolutely fantastic. I love Tony Hawk games. These are some of the best skateboarding games you ever play, and just great games. Amazing series is Tony Hawk, and it's a shame that it sort of died off and went off on a weird tangent and then just sort of ruined it, but let me have Scooby-Doo Unmasked. I know I'm not really a big Scooby-Doo fan. I do like the live-action movie, but never really watched the show growing up. But this game's actually pretty good. This is, if you're going to play a Scooby-Doo game, this is the one I recommend. It's a pretty cool game. Like, you get all these, instead of it being a average platformer, this one's more of an action game. And you get, like, different costumes for Scooby-Doo. And obviously, each costume does something different. Like, for example, the Kung Fu costume lets you, like, you do Kung Fu moves, and Robin Hood one, you get an arrow and stuff like that. It's kind of an interesting game. I played it growing up. Shrek the Third. Don't know how good the third game is. The second one was pretty good, actually. But, yeah, Shrek. Over the Hedge. Absolutely love this game. The movie's okay, but the game's pretty fun. It's a really good co-op game, actually. I have a lot of fun with this one. I actually started playing this with my partner. We'll have to go back and finish it, actually. It's a really fun little game, and you can have a lot of laughs with it. Shark Tale, another DreamWorks game. I have played it. It's nothing special. As far as fish games go, it's okay, I guess. Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Operation Resurrection. It's not as good as the new Wolfenstein games, for sure, but it's an okay Wolfenstein reimagining, of course. Classic series. Ridge Racer 5, sorry. Kind of interesting that Sony haven't gone back and done a new Ridge Racer. You know, it was one of their sort of their own branded arcade racers, but they haven't gone back and done any more. At least not in my knowledge. RPM Tuning, another tuner racing game, like a Need for Speed wannabe. Of course, early 2000s were all about those pimping my ride style racing games. Serious Sam next in camera. I love the Serious Sam games. These are my sort of shooters, very arcadey, just pure destruction. You know, just hordes and hordes of enemies. Xbox 360 does have a complete edition, which I would recommend getting. Tony Hawk Project 8. This was a pretty good Tony Hawk game. I mostly played the Tony Hawk games and just did free play with my brothers growing up, and we just messed around and stuff. But the Tony Hawk games are pretty fun games. Project 8 isn't a bad one. Shadow the Hedgehog, a game that I loved growing up, but it's a very challenging game. It's not a great Sonic game. Well, it's not really Sonic, but it's not a great game in general. But it's a nostalgic game. It's kind of an interesting one. Sonic with guns, basically. I don't know. Some people don't like it. Shadow of Memories, a thinking man's masterpiece. I believe this is like a adventure game, mystery thing. Kind of looks like a horror game, but I couldn't imagine it being a horror game because it's only an 11 plus. But still, it's kind of an interesting one. Pop Idol, official video game. I don't think you need any peripherals to play this game. I think it's all based around controller stuff, but still. Predator Concrete Jungle. It's a good game, good Predator game, but I just got to a part in the game where I had no clue where to go. But it's a really good sort of semi-open world game. You play as the Predator, of course, using all of your Predator skills to your advantage. Pretty good series game. Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones. I loved the Prince of Persia games growing up. They were amazing games. In my opinion, these games spawned Assassin's Creed. But The Two Thrones sort of went into more like a God of War style, made it more of a hack and slash rather than, free running and stuff. It still is in there, but not as much. Prisoner of War, another sort of stealth-based World War II game. Have a cheats thing here, a demo disc, action replay. These are just great. You just get a bunch of cheats and stuff on here. Really interesting little concepts, and I do want to keep look out for these things as collectibles. World Championships Darts 2008. Not really a big darts fan, but still. Penny Racers, originally on the Nintendo 64, and of course. I like this game. It's pretty good. Not as good as Road Trip, but still a pretty fun game. Perfect Ace 2, the Championships. Another tennis game. I don't mind tennis. Pacific Warriors 2. I believe one of the World War II flight games. Like I said, you can unlock a TIE fighter. I think it's the one made by LucasArts. Or it should be anyway. Red Faction. A pretty good first-person shooter for its time. You can get this game on PlayStation 4, of course. Pretty good game for its time, but didn't hold up too well. Rugby League 2. Another rugby game. Roller Coaster World. We didn't get Roller Coaster Tycoon on PlayStation 2. We did get it on Xbox, but not on PlayStation 2. But we got a couple of theme park games. You can create some really crazy roller coasters. This game's kind of an interesting one. It's a budget title, but the roller coasters you can create are really cool. But you have to do all these safety things, and you've got to make sure that it's all safe and everything. So it's kind of a really strategic roller coaster game, if you want to call it that. Rogue Galaxy, another JRPG. I hear this one's actually really good, and this is also on PlayStation 4. Paris-Dakar Rally. Another kind of like a, desert racing game. Another adult game, Playboy the Mansion. There are, like I said, there's about 5 or 6 adult games on PlayStation 2, and I think I've got them all now. Kind of the embarrassing ones to buy, but still got to have them for the collection. They're not expensive, but some of them might become a bit rare in the future. Pitfall: The Lost Expedition, and you also get the original Pitfall games on this as well. Never really played Pitfall growing up before my time. Pimp My Ride, a terrible game. It should have just been like a tuner game, but it's really bad. Just look up some gameplay for this and you understand it's not a really good game. It's just the way you upgrade your car is just unbelievable. Pippa Fennell, Take the Reins. Another horse simulator. I like horses, but not so much to play a game about them. Trivial Pursuit Unhinged. I occasionally throw in a Trivial Pursuit with a friend just to test your knowledge. Shrek Super Slam, kind of like another battle arena game. I have tried this one out. It's funny, but it's nothing amazing. Seek and Destroy. This game is absolutely fantastic. I love this game. It's like a full-blown RPG with tanks, but I mostly played it for the mini games, the two-player mini games and stuff like that. It's a pretty funny game. Godzilla, Save the Earth. Some of these Godzilla games are pretty fun, fighting games with giant Godzilla. I do need to watch some of the old school Godzillas. Tony Hawk Proving Grounds. I don't think I ever played this one, actually. I might have. So like I said, it sort of went in a weird tangent and died off. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2002. Second Sight, from the creators of Time Splitters. I remember this game on the GameCube. It's actually really cool, sort of like kind of like reminds me, if you've ever seen that game Control, it's kind of like that, like a telekinesis game. It's a really interesting one. Check it out. Robot Warlord. This is like a budget version of like Advanced Wars or something. Like a mech tactics game. I don't remember it being very good, but it could be pretty good. I just weren't very good as a kid. Sensible Soccer 2006. Kind of a bobblehead style soccer game. Raceway, Dragon Stock Racing. Budget, it's finest there with Midas. Red Dead Revolver. This was the original Red Dead Redemption. I played it when I was younger and I didn't think too much of it. But it is Rockstar. This isn't like Red Dead Redemption. It's not really open world or anything. It's more of a you have like smaller areas and you fight. I have to go back and try it out because I've been on a cowboy, a western thing as of late, and I really am enjoying going through Red Dead 2 and getting everything in the game and stuff like that, even though I've beaten it. But just getting everything in the game is just so much fun. Robotech Invasion. This game looks really interesting. I don't know exactly what kind of game it is, but third-person mech game, I guess, almost. SeaWorld's Shamu's Deep Sea Adventures. SeaWorld threw their hat in the bag and got a game made on one of their whales. Shadow Man 2, or Shadow Man Second Coming. Never played the original Shadow Man game, originally on the Dreamcast, and I believe it was on PlayStation 1 and stuff, but still. Red Faction 2. I do remember playing this one growing up. It's a pretty good game for its time. Really good first-person shooter for its time. Great destructible environments and things. Resident Evil Code Veronica X, a remake of the Dreamcast game. Of course, Resident Evil is classic as it comes. Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie. It's a long title, but this is the limited collector's edition. The game's actually pretty good. It's like half of it you play as Jack. And like a first-person shooter, and then there's parts where you play as King Kong and like a beat 'em up. But it's a really good game actually. But yeah, this is a really cool collector's edition. Comes with some an art limited art case and of course a bonus DVD of the making of the game. Really good game actually, kind of an underrated one. Some people love that game. Portal Runner. A 3DO game. Never played it. I know my partner did. Shadow of Rome. I've always wanted to try this game out because I loved Spartan Total Warrior, and I remember seeing this game as a kid on all like the game channels when I was younger, and it looked amazing. You know, it's just violence and crazy things. This game's a Capcom game, so it can't be that bad, right? Then we have Robot Wars, Arenas of Destruction. I loved the show growing up. I absolutely loved Robot Wars. It was just amazing just seeing these robots go crazy, you know, RC robots. And it was an amazing show. Unfortunately, the game isn't nowhere as good as the show was. Then we have Riding Spirits, a bike racing game. Of course, you know, there's plenty of bike games out there. Scooby-Doo, Night of 100 Frights. I have tried this game out. It's average. This is the game where you can get the TIE Fighter. Secret Weapons over Normandy. You can unlock a TIE fighter in this game, I believe. Maybe even an X-Wing. Yeah, it's from the same people who made TIE fighter and X-Wing, so you know it's going to be a pretty good flight game if that's your thing. Robin Hood's Quest, Oxygen Games are also masterpieces. These games are known for their amazing gameplay, of course. I'm sarcastic. Robots, another long forgotten title, a movie. Never played the game. Sierra. Resident Evil Dead Aim. This is kind of like the Resident Evil Survivor game on PlayStation 1. Of course, it's a G-Con game. It's not an on-rail shooter by any means, but use a G-Con when you aim and stuff. But yeah, you probably can use it without it. Realm of the Dead. Kind of looks like a interesting zombie game. Pro Evolution Soccer Management. The only PES soccer management they ever had. This took me a while to find, actually. Rugby 2006, or Rugby Challenge 2006. Is that Ubisoft? Yeah, it is an Ubisoft title. Rugby 2004, the EA version. Reign of Fire. I believe this is actually based on a movie. I think part of the games you play is like soldiers, and then there's parts where you play as the dragon. I think it's based on a movie as well. Could be wrong. Reservoir Dogs. I hear this game's not bad. It's just quite short. I've never actually watched the movie, to be honest. I need to watch the movie because it's a Quentin Tarantino movie and I love Kill Bill. Resident Evil Outbreak. This is kind of an interesting concept. It's kind of like you have like a bunch of survivors and you have to like keep each survivor alive, and you can play as each of these characters, and each of them have their like bonuses. Like some characters, like the soldier, you know, is more better with firearms, and then the doctor's better with healing and stuff like that. It's a really interesting concept. But there's also a second one, and I'm not sure if I have the second one. It's an interesting concept. Unfortunately, the game isn't amazing, but it's kind of an interesting concept that they tried. We have Rogue Ops, another Metal Gear Solid clone. This game pretty much is like a Metal Gear Solid clone. Rogue Trooper, I played the remake of this game, and it's actually a really good game, actually. It's nothing amazing, but for the it's actually a pretty good game. Never played the original on here, but it's made by Rebellion, and the remake was pretty good. And last in this part, we have Riding Spirits 2. So, there we have the next part done. Like I said, I've still got a bunch more games to go through, and I think if I put these games in this bedroom, it'll make things a lot more easier now, and I have the games upstairs and be able to play some PS2 and get access to these games a lot easier. I do need to play some more PS2 at some point. I've still been playing, like I said, Red Dead Redemption 2, slowly working my way through getting every single, collectible and stuff. It will still take me a while to do it because I only get about half an hour on that. So, and still playing Zombie Army 4 with my friend, and we're still enjoying that game. It's a good game. I wouldn't say it's like the best game I've ever played, but it's still a pretty fun game nonetheless. I did pre-order Avengers last night as well. The Avengers game on Xbox. The only reason I pre-ordered it digital is so I can play it with my friend, so he gets it and stuff like that. I am looking forward to it. It's going to be I think it's going to be an amazing game. What have I been watching? Watched Beverly Hills Cop the other night, and it was fucking hilarious. I absolutely thought it was such an amazing film. I could talk about Eddie Murphy forever. Been watching Bob's Burgers. My Netflix ran out, but luckily I have Amazon Prime, so I've got Prime Video, so Bob's Burgers is on that. And I think I'm going to watch X-Men Dark Phoenix tonight with my partner. So going to see what all the fuss is about with that film and whether or not it was a bad film or not. I don't know. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like and, of course, comment below. Let me know what you've been up to recently and all of that good stuff. And, of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Mad Kaider. I posted something funny onto my Twitter last night. Red Dead. I saved this woman and all of a sudden she's set herself on fire. I have no clue how it happened, but it was pretty funny. And of course, as always, have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.